All right, welcome back to the TRU-U studio for the 83rd time. Today we get to interview Mr. Emil DeFrancesco, who is a conscious entrepreneur, holistic chef, transformational leader, and plant medicine guide based in Los Angeles, California. He is the founder of 72 Breakthrough, a transformational retreat and coaching experience that helps people reconnect with nature, release emotional blocks, and create rapid, lasting change in their lives. Emil is also the creator of DIOS, a premium line of organic magic mushroom products that's designed to help people awaken their potential. Through his work, Emil blends high-end culinary artistry and hospitality with spiritual guidance, crafting transformational experiences that unite food, nature, and healing. Mr. DeFrancesco. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, spot on.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, uh, we've spoken, so a mutual friend introduced us, and we've spoken, I think, two or three times.
Hmm.
And they both were like 1 to 2 hours long calls that could
The
have been
first one I think was
podcasts.
3 hours.
Yeah, it was a while. So that's rare to connect with a new human just on those levels. I experienced you as deep as very much what your bio described. And I'm really grateful for you jumping on today, man. Let's see where this goes.
Thank you for having me.
So, what inspired you to begin this journey of healing and nature, the use of nature, plant medicine, transformational work? Unpack your
Hmm.
journey a little bit for us.
Yeah, like most people on the planet, 2020 was a crazy shift in the reality. Part of the new paradigm. At the time, I didn't know that. I had businesses in San Francisco. I was in the tea world, and the pandemic happened, and I lost everything. I resorted to drinking and eating and just partying like the world was going to end. And it was actually a camping trip. A friend had brought his good friend who was studying under some shaman in Peru to serve wachuma. And that's a cactus called San Pedro. And he made a tea. And I went up like, yeah, sure, I'll drink whatever the world's. I really thought the world was ending, which was true, but it didn't mean it was going to end forever. It was just something new was going to happen after that. And I'd never done any psychedelic, any plant medicine, any drug, God's honor, um, just cannabis a little bit and some good amount of alcohol. And I went from zero to liftoff. We drank this tea in ceremony, and we're deep in nature up in Clear Lake area of Northern California, and we tripped for 12 hours. So I went
Wow.
from never trying anything to having an unbelievable spiritual experience. And my life was forever changed after that. It took me a couple days to get back to reality. It was actually during the George Floyd riots that weekend when a huge cultural shift was happening in our country. And I came back to dropping friends off in Oakland, and it was on fire. And there was protests. It was just a chaotic time to come back into reality. So it was a huge shift in my perception. And after I found some readings, like I was should have been integrated back into reality after doing something like that. But my friend at the time was still learning. Now he's a psychedelic therapist, but we were his guinea pigs. Um, I just wanted to go deeper. I First thing I thought was, why didn't anyone tell me it was like this? And how do I share this with people? These types of experiences. So I've been on
Yeah.
this journey of self exploration and healing, as well as doing experiences in nature, not with Wachuma. It's a lot to drink. I found mushrooms actually, and I didn't actually know where to get mushrooms, so I just ordered some spores online and started growing them in my bedroom, and was
Wow.
getting these big, beautiful flushes. And I showed them to my friends who were from California. Everyone in California usually has some kind of experience with mushrooms. Um, and they're like, what? You're growing these in your bedroom? Do you know how hard it is to grow these? I'm like, no, I just grew them. So I started going on these experiences with my own mushrooms into nature because I felt like I wanted to be in nature. The lockdowns, the shutdowns, stay inside. I was like, fuck you, California. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not doing
yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
no way. You can't tell me what to do. If you want me to do something, tell me the opposite of what you want me to do, and I'll do it. So if you're like, stay inside, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go outside. But that's what I did. I was going on these adventures into California. I never really got to explore California like I had in the past 5 years. Just going to these state parks and these wild preserves and these open,
Yeah.
BLM lands. Like I didn't know that it was there. So I wanted to go to the most epic places, see the most epic things, and take these larger doses, which were the most profound for me. And I found them deeply spiritual and healing. They weren't just like trippy dippy, like whatever. Like I was using the medicine as it should. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
And then I started
yeah.
bringing friends and family, and then it all kind of started. And grew these mushrooms, started making
Yeah.
products.
Well,
That's how it
I'm
started.
very fascinated to interview you because we actually had, fun fact for our listeners, we had an episode all about psychedelics. That was the 50th episode, which is
Mm.
missing from this because at that time there was some personal things and political things that just swayed me from releasing it. But as my own life and as I've witnessed other lives and just the view of plant medicine progress, it's becoming something that really, like, I think deserves to be unpacked more,
Hmm.
for people to truly understand. And I'm grateful for you to join us first. So I'm interested to go into a little further what you shared. So your own personal experience sounds like, what was that, 6 or 7 years ago you started really with this?
2020, May 20,
Oh, five. So you haven't even
May
been,
30th,
dude.
2020. Yeah.
I've been doing this longer than you, but
Yeah.
you've been, yeah.
Hmm.
But you just took off with it. So clearly there was something. You've used the language profound and spiritual. So I'm curious about your personal experience with psychedelics and how that's impacted your own life, your leadership, your whatever it is that you can touch on. And I have some other questions, but why don't we start with that? What's how did this change your life personally?
Well, the way I describe it is, humans, we have this lens that we look through, and then everything we
Mhm.
look at is through this one lens. And then when you take a psychedelic or mind altering substance, and mine happened to be Wachuma, just opened up everything. And I just received things, saw things, felt things that I had never, ever had in my entire, all at once. It was like the curtain opened up and just felt light, love, and got beautiful downloads that I'd never had before. And it was, pretty overwhelming, but it was so beautiful. And that's why you need integration after doing these types of experiences to like get back into our reality. But it was coming from above, coming from another place. And that's why it was deeply profound, spiritual. You call it connecting with source or God. Like I felt that. I couldn't stand in it.
Yeah.
It was just like I had a crown chakra and just like laid down, and my heart just exploded open. I'm like, what? And it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, you can't coming back to reality. I'm like, I can't, knowing that this exists, I can't go back to any kind of other work than doing this.
Yeah. And in that time with God, in that time of your downloading, was there like coming back to reality after you've integrated back in? Was there any like shifts that you made in your life
Yeah,
that
I had to make
yeah.
some really challenging ones. Again, I didn't have a job. I lost my businesses. I was drinking every day, and it was the start of a healing journey. I got these downloads
Mhm.
like stop poisoning yourself. Your leader example for others. I was like, who said that? And it kept on coming up. And then like
Yeah.
psychedelics, these profound experiences, that's 1%. You have to do 99% of the work. It's not just like, oh, I did that, I'm done, everything's great. Maybe you feel better, but like you actually have to do the work. You have to change your diet. You have to give up the alcohol. You have to let going of relationships that don't serve you, or anything that doesn't serve you. And that was really painful. And I was in a relationship, and I was not my best self, sadly. And I was in the Bay Area, things just weren't working out. So I ended up just moving and being called to go down to LA after that. I
Yeah.
mean, it took about 9 months after that I moved, but it was a very
Yeah.
painful experience.
I like the 1% to 99% perspective. It can give you, like, to me, I consider it a reset. It's a
Hmm.
reset. Like, it's like clearing the slate, like, you
A
know,
purge.
yeah. And then it's like, okay, now help me see clearly. So then that what you're calling a download comes in, and then now I get to take that information and go out and apply it and live into it, you know? Um, that's my take on it.
Sure.
Yeah. 72 breakthrough, that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's a 72-hour experience. A lot of people go abroad or they go down to South America and they have these week-long retreats and these, go down and see shamans in the jungle. And I wanted to make something accessible here in the United States, here in LA, and fit in a weekend. So 72 hours. And it's these experiences that I was doing during COVID. It would be these 2 to 3 day long experiences where I'd remove myself, put myself into nature and eat clean and take plant medicine and connect with everything that was not here in these man-made cities. So this is like a very expedited experience, but it's enough to fit into people's busy schedules.
Yeah. When you're doing this together in a retreat format, how does that, like, what does that create? Like, that energy, that bond, that I'm sure, like, there's some elements of being together in nature for 72 hours doing this that's like
Oh
just
yeah, it's
really.
it's what I say, getting back to the basics of being human, being in community, in nature, under the sun, falling asleep to the stars, eating clean food, you know, mushrooms, which is a beautiful uh, substance that was put here for a reason, and helping you reconnect with yourself, reconnect with others, the land, food, God. And when you're amongst other people who are looking for that, it's miracles. I've seen miracles happen. It's that's the only way I could
That's
describe
great.
it. And you
Can you
take that
share
and you
any?
go back into yeah, I've had people. One of my good cousin, my dear cousin, we saw a bear uh in
Oh man.
Sequoia, and it was on the trail, and seen it before coming up this mountain, and it crossed paths with him, and it scared the living daylights out of him. And I could see he wasn't right. He was very scared. It elevated his heart rate in a way that he um, couldn't calm down, and he kept on checking his heartbeat. I'm like, "Cuz, you're okay." And we went back to camp, calmed him down, started a fire, the soup, and he would start to come back. And he's like, "Oh, that was really intense." I was like, "Well, nature provides. You're supposed to see that bear." And he's like, "Yeah, I could feel my heart rate get up, and I feel it not beating correctly." I was like, "Well, you should get that checked out." So after our trip, he went to UCLA and found a cardiologist and did tests, and he has afibrillation of his heart.
Whoa.
They're like, "How do you know you had this? Most people don't know, and they have a stroke or they die in their sleep."
Hmm.
And there's some mushrooms in a in a bear in Sequoia that got him there. Like
Wow.
stuff like that happens. Like I don't make
Wow.
this stuff up.
There's a lot of research being done too about, anxiety, depression, PTSD, things of that nature. You have any experience or anything that you'd want to speak on regarding plant medicine and
Sure,
towards that?
it's all good. The studies are through the roof. Nothing but positive with plant medicine. Nothing that man-made could ever do with these studies. Like absolutely amazing feedback on people's transformations or healings. But I feel like that's just the surface for us to understand. It's what our science can explain, and we're just scratching it right now. But the depths, the very deep spiritual part of taking this medicine, like science might not ever be able to explain, connecting
Mhm.
with your higher self or God. Like, how do you explain that? Is that just a bunch of chemicals in your brain? No, you're definitely connecting with something else, you know? But it's
Yeah.
all good. It gets people interested in. That's how my mother, she actually reached out to me. And I told her what I was doing. She's like, I want to do a mushroom trip. I heard about the benefits with things, and she was very anxious and had anxiety. And I was like, well, I'll take you on a trip. But it was because the article she was reading by John Hopkins and the research around it. Then she's like, well, my son's in that space, so maybe I'll ask him. And I've taken my mom on two mushroom trips, and they're just to see how she was before, during, and how her life's changed afterwards. Like, it's my mother. I love her dearly, and I was able to take her. I mean, what a gift it would. If there's anything I could give to my mother, it would be an experience like this. But it changed her life. Her anxiousness went down. Um, During mushroom trips, you process, but really the bigger, profound things happen afterwards when you talk to people and share your stories. And it was kind of post her trip. We sat down for like 3 hours just talking about everything, and all these things were coming up. And I just sat there and listened, held space, and like my own mother and my cousin. I've seen these
Yeah.
unbelievable things happen to people I love. Like, oh my God, I got to share this with people. That's why I do. I want to share with as many people as I can before I die.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I like what you're saying. Like it can be there's still that stigma around, oh, it's a drug. Oh, it's, you're getting high or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's part of our um programming that we've been put through.
I felt that way.
So,
That's why I never did it.
yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, a lot of people don't. And it's like I like how you framed that of, well, that was how she was like enrolled into it, whatever you said. Like that's like,
Mm-hmm.
there's studies, there's this and that. Like um some people don't need that, others do. And yeah, I guess for the common listener out there, that hasn't maybe well, I guess there's a couple different like I've been through struggles, I'm experiencing mental health things, or I've got this, going on in my life. I'd like to try it for that reason. Or maybe there's just somebody that wants to connect with God. Like how would you encourage people to safely and like like open up to this being an opportunity for them?
Sure. Well, yeah, mushrooms, these plant medicines, they're tools. They have an intelligence. They have um, yeah, they have a life to them, and you could utilize. I like mushrooms specifically because they're very versatile, and I like to work with natural substances, being a holistic chef. Um, so from a very small amount with microdosing to megadosing, and I've done them all. I like more the profound, intense experiences in nature. That's more or my take. But if someone that's not into that and wants to just do it in the comfort of their home, that's where microdosing really could come in, and they can test it and see how they feel. Instead of 5 grams, in a 4 to 6 hour period, you do 5 grams over a month and a half, 2 months, which microdosing is, and see how that feels for them. You can still have this, some profound changes in yourself, though it takes a little longer. And then neurogenesis, all these beautiful connections and neurons being made in your brain. Um, and then sit down with someone like myself, because I had to figure this all out myself after taking this medicine, which was really painful, not having the structure, the integration, or even the community to talk to. And that's what I'm here to create: safe medicine, because there's plenty of shows and movies and research on how wonderful this stuff is or can be. Well, where do people get medicine that's safe? And I was like, well, I have to create that for people. If it's safe enough for me and my mother and loved ones, because that's where it started, it's safe enough for everyone. I cook for people, I
Yeah.
feed people. I put food into their bodies. Like, I have my standards, and they're the highest they could possibly be because I know someone's going to ingest this. Same thing goes for my product line.
Yeah. So you're a chef.
Yeah,
You
not a
shared your
classically trained one.
yeah, you shared your experience at Burning Man with
Oh
me.
wow,
That was yeah. I know how
that was
fun of
another
a
level.
conversation you want to have
Hmm.
here. But yeah, like I'm sure there's a lot of learning and you know, a lot that goes into being a chef. I know I have no clue, but
Oh, okay.
for you to turn that into, you know, your passion into a reality like a product. You're doing the retreats, which is wonderful. Then like yeah, I just love hearing your story. Like you're taking it to DIOS is it called. You're creating your own
Hmm.
products. You're going out to these places and providing for people. Like, I'm sure that's a great experience too.
Yeah,
Just
it's I'm coming into myself. This is still, I've been doing this less than 5 years. Um, and what I learned about myself and how to um, take this medicine and live a healthier, cleaner, happier life is what I'm sharing with people. I had to figure out the hard way for years. And now that I'm like, wow, I have all this wisdom, all these experiences, I have the right tools, the right community, the right people. It's like now it's my time to come out and share with everybody. And not everyone's going to agree, not everyone's going to jump on board, but that's okay. I'm here for the people that are seeking and that need some guidance and want to partake in what I have to share. And
yeah,
food brings everyone together. That's the one thing. Growing up in a
it
Hawaiian household,
does.
like we could talk about food for days. Um,
I love your
but
people's food, by the way.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd carve out on Italian any day of the week if I could, brother.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I what I cook, I tell people I cook high vibration food that cleanses, nourishes, heals. It's seasonal, it's organic. Work with farms and great purveyors here in Southern California, and that's part of the experience when you come out into nature. I mean, you take away psychedelics, you'll have a transformational experience being out in Joshua Tree or Big Sur, or top of a mountain, at a beach, anywhere, and then having me cook for you over a fire, fall asleep to the stars, wake up to the sun. This is how you can reset, get back into circadian rhythm. But a little bit of mushrooms comes in, it can really make a beautiful impact.
Yeah. Yeah, something of the experience of um like I was interested or had an interesting conversation with people about community the other day and like how much our healing of trauma also is related to being in community with with other people that are like willing to stand with you and sharing your joys, your sorrows, your what you know the things that you're like having a safe community where you can share the things that you don't want anybody to know,
Mm.
where you can process these things. Um and that conversation led to like yeah, the simplicity of just coming together over meals, like it's a moment. It's something that I think people get to simplify life and we're together on this planet. We're meant to go through these things, these challenges together and our triumphs together. And I think, I'm getting a little deeper here, but I think that, what you're doing is wonderful in a sense of pausing our chaotic lives to come together in community over something as simple as being a chef or cooking or being, practicing what nature provides together and
Hmm.
embracing that. Um, it's very necessary.
Yeah, that's why it's happening right now. We have to get back to the basics of what it is to be human. We're so disconnected from each other, from Earth, from our families, especially in the United States, where it's like, oh, you go off and you live alone, and no one. no one lives with their families. It's biological, I think, for us to stay together in community with our families, multi generations. Here, it's like opposite. So people are yearning for community and yearning for
Yeah.
healing. So when you have these
And
healing community,
we're in this like new age of information freaking overload too.
yeah,
And
that's
societies, like we have access to all of the programming, like at a whole new level. If you think about it, it's just been the last what, 40 years,
yeah,
50 years,
yeah.
not that
Past
long. And then
15,
radically
20, yeah,
yeah, the last
hockey
20 has
stick.
been just and
Yeah,
now it's even we're going into an evolution of tech that's I mean, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant. I love it. I'm in that
yeah,
business. But there's some that's why this is so important to go along with the evolution of tech and the evolution just information. Um, if we get overly consumed by that, I think it inhibits our ability to connect to source, our ability to heal, our ability to be in genuine community and be what humans are supposed to be.
yes. That's what we are. We don't need to become some kind of robot or some kind of computer. We're still flesh and bones and blood, and then we're just as human as a bear or a deer or a bird flying. We might be a little more evolved, I guess, when it comes to how we operate in the world, but we need to remember who we are and where we come from. And I found my purpose through plant medicine, through these transformational experiences, and I tapped into my future self because of it. And it was an unbelievable realization. Like, oh my God, I'm tripping. I'm like, oh, I gotta get people to trip more, like have these experiences. That was
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, I've been part of over 160 people's experiences, and I've seen all types of transformations. But most people are just grateful that someone just gave them the time to be present. I'm present.
Yeah.
I'm there. Like being present is so powerful. Not being on your phone and or oh, I gotta go in 30 minutes. Like no, just being present with people is such a gift. And
Yeah.
creating.
Yeah. Out of those 160, how many testimonials like do you receive? How many relationships have you formed?
Oh man, I get I get texts once in a while from people, and it's usually around the holidays when people are feeling grateful and seeing where they were, and people say, this experience, I have a better relationship with my partner. We're thinking about having another child, and I'm like gonna cry, get these texts or how it's bring people together, or it's changed their life. And I'm like, listen, I created this experience, this product for you to have that. So I can't take,
Mhm.
all the credit, but you're doing the work too. But yeah, it's so special to, I'm not a trained doctor. I'm not, and I'm some psychotherapist. I'm just a guy who saw the power in a bunch of things and brought them all together. There's
Yeah.
nothing woo woo. It's the basics. It's nature. It's psilocybin. It's food. It's community, and it's me creating this container.
It's great.
Hmm.
Yeah, it really is simple. It's basics. Yeah. It's it's interesting how challenging simple can be,
Oh yeah,
in today's day. Yeah.
I boil everything down. I break it down. Like food, the way I cook isn't some long, crazy, intricate process. Like no, we're gonna get the best ingredients, and I'm gonna season them exactly how I feel they should be seasoned and serve it like fresh. That's it. That's what Italian cooking really is. The best ingredients you can find and putting them together and serving it with, and always with love is at the heart of everything I do, especially with food.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, since you began this journey, do you feel like your connection to source or like intuition, like yeah, I'm thinking like along the lines of like what maybe what my experiences have been has been more um I've microdosed quite a bit.
Hmm.
Uh like I'm often looking up more to be still and get some uh what you call it, downloads, yeah, like, but I think it's created a more conscious awareness through my normal day-to-day life, and just a ability to slow down and like you said, be present. And I'm just, I don't even know really what my question is, but I just want to go into that a little bit around like what
Sure.
like for you or for people that you've worked with, like what's that spiritual component look like?
Yeah, I can share the first. Obviously, Wachuma was an experience, and multiple times, with mushrooms.
What is
And
Wachuma?
Wachuma is a cactus, a San Pedro cactus. You can buy them at Home Depot. They're more from South America. They don't grow here. And
Hmm.
that was my first experience, and it was a glimpse. It was like a little touch from God. I wasn't there for hours just vibing with it. And post that experience, I realized I needed to clean myself up. I wasn't vibrating at my highest level. And well,
Hmm.
what did I change? Well, I gave up alcohol, which I leaned on during COVID, sorrows, from losing my business and the relationship and a lot of things. So I was just kind of drowning myself, numbing myself. And we numb ourselves with so many things we don't even know, from prescription
To avoid
drugs
pain.
to avoid pain, you know? So once I
Hmm.
removed the things that were numbing me, I became this clearer channel, changing my diet. My gut was off. I was eating whatever the fuck I wanted. I was like, the world's ended, let's go. And when I started eating higher vibration food, cleaning, clean, nourishing, healing foods. I don't say healthy because what does healthy mean? But these are the things that it did. And then removing the alcohol, I found 5 months later, working out, having more of a focus, spending time in nature, keeping my closer relationships stronger with my family and friends. That next trip was just unbelievable. It knocked me to my knees because I was vibrating at a higher level. Like we're like these antennas, that these channels. And once that channel is completely clear, it's like, whoa, you could really feel it. So there are people that come in to medicine and their guts off and they're numb with, medication, and they have a lot of things that are muting themselves. And that's why I say,
Yeah.
if you open your channel up, like it's very clear. And that's how I had unbelievably profound experiences after I really started clearing myself up.
I think like the avoiding pain part, like you're drinking alcohol. Like I've smoked or I've done
Hmm.
a lot of things, but like people overeat or people will whatever their coping is to put up with the going into the body and experiencing like that, what we think is death or what we think is unsafe to go into our body and actually experience or kind of understand more about. uh we avoid that. And I wonder, like, this is just coming up for me on the spot, when we're in a psychedelic experience, if that actually opens us up to experiencing some of that necessary pain or understanding from whatever that
Hmm.
trapped energy or that issue is.
Yes, that's exactly it. Things bubble up to the surface that you've been pushing down. They're going to come up and you're going to have to face them.
Yeah.
You can't not face them. You can't just run away and be like,
Yeah.
I'm done, take me out. It's like, you have to face these things that come up, and you don't always know what's going to happen. Sometimes you don't really have things. And then sometimes you're like, I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to go to this concert. It's going to be great. And then fucking bubbles up. Like, wait, I got to deal with that right now. It's like, yeah, I got to deal with this
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You can process it.
Well, that's something that I encourage people to do real time, and not really until the last 12 to maybe 24 months I've begun doing real time for myself, is when my body is giving me information that it's not safe, when I have you know shortness of breath or tight chest, or my a headache, my brain's overstimulated. Um, I noticed that there's something that I've lodged in here that I'd like, there's some subconscious story about something that I'm attached to that I have,
Hmm.
I haven't yet processed. So pausing real time, even this is something I've discovered even outside of the use of psychedelics, just to be able to tune into what like feeling that experience and having the capacity to hold that experience is like, hey, I'm not going to run from this. I don't need to escape and go to drugs, alcohol, sex, or whatever it
Hmm.
is, or food, or whatever coping mechanism. I can be with this experience, and then to understand, like seek to understand it after you find that, oh, I can actually hold this. I'm not going to die. It kind of loosens itself a little bit. You notice I'm still present. I'm here. I can know there's a bird. Okay, I'm not dead.
Hmm.
And then like, oh, now let me understand. Help me understand what's the story that this is that's driving this. What is this thing? And I think psychedelics does a great job at doing that without us consciously needing to do it. It's just going to put it on you. But this is
Hmm.
something people can do real time too. The more that we regulate our bodies, and notice these things that come up, because the conscious and the subconscious are constantly communicating. If we can have that intentional conscious effort to do that somatic work, it does so much to our quality of life. Um, what are your thoughts on all of that?
That's why I do it. Um, Instead of going to a therapist and trying to get it out, pull it out, or see what comes up, this automatically does it for you,
Hmm.
and you have to face it. And that's, a
Hmm.
lot of people are scared to do psychedelics because they're not scared of psychedelics, they're scared of what may come out of them most of the
Yeah.
time. It's like, well, you are the experience. These are tools that create an experience for you. So you got to face yourself, or face your fears, or face whatever you've been bottling up. And then you can't just cut out, be like, I'm done. There's no parachute. It's like, oh, you got to deal with it, which makes you, I think,
Yeah.
a
No,
stronger person.
you have to deal with it, or else there's only two ways it'll go. It'll either fester and become more of an issue, or it will
Hmm.
begin being processed. The only way to the only way is through, right? You,
Yeah.
you got to get
Hmm.
through it, and it does. And this is an even deeper thing. It does strengthen us as beings and our ability to create, to serve, to do whatever we're called to do. Uh, Going through the necessary pains, the lessons, the relationships, the losses, the like, all of this is our key components towards um, you know, becoming whoever we're meant to become. Like the only other like the other option is to hang on to it or let it sit, and then that
Hmm.
will leak everywhere. It'll leak everywhere,
Hmm.
and addictions and coping and it's yeah, see it all the time. I've experienced it. I think I know we all experience it to some extent. We all do. Um it's like a constant choice to be willing to engage in like processing, whether it's
Hmm.
through therapy or psychedelics or whatever, like where spiritual practices. It's like physical practices, all of it.
Hmm.
Like, got to do the work.
Yeah. Transformation, healing, it's uncomfortable. It is not easy.
It
It's a
sucks,
challenge. It's like,
but
but you
yeah,
feel better every time you work on it. Every
yeah,
time, and it gets easier. It gets easier. Life gets actually easier. My life, I'm like, there's still challenging, crazy shit happening, but I'm like, you know what? I have faith in myself. I have faith in a higher power, God, and like I'm on my mission. Like it's okay. This is part of it. You told me this 5 years ago.
mhm,
I was a very different person the way I looked at life. I mean, always from a place of love, but like I worried more than I should have, because I had things that I traumas that I had no idea I was holding on to. But once you release those, like, oh man, I can breathe, I can feel so much more.
Yeah.
But yeah, the work is challenging. But that's why I'm here. That's why I offer what I do, to hold your hand through the process. And I have a beautiful community of healers and you know people in LA that I would share. It's like, this is how you get through this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
other people that
It
can
does,
relate.
it does get easier too when like after the, how scary the first psychedelic experience is, how scary going to therapy for the first time is, how
Hmm.
scary taking on some new modality and
Hmm.
like, or facing whatever that, you know, trauma is in any, like it's not
Sure.
easy, but it gets easier. Like you said, it's uncomfortable, but there's something in a weird way, like almost that I look forward to now after being through all this fucked up shit. Now we're all
Yeah.
human, but like
Yeah.
after being through a lot of fucked up shit, now I'm like, okay, well, I know I've got this. I know I kind of, at least what I need to do to internally get through this.
Sure.
Um, it sucks like every other time, but I know now after all these experiences that I'm capable of getting through it. I'm going to get through it.
Yes.
I know the resources. It becomes less uncomfortable and more of a spiritual opportunity. Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Once you have all
for
the
me,
tools, you're like, utilize them. You have the
yeah,
right tools.
yeah, yeah. Going to the gym gets easier after you've been there a few times, or you even
Oh
even if you
yeah.
skip even if you skip a few months going to the gym, you still got the form, you got that way. Like
Hmm.
it's like guitar for me. Sometimes I'll go like 3 months without playing a guitar, and then it'll take me a day to,
Mm.
to pick back up and be like, oh, I remember how to play that note. I remember how to do that.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. But and then if you keep it consistent, just elevates, man. Yeah. Life's not going to stop throwing shit at us.
No, that you and
Uh,
you have to be prepared for taking on that shit and processing it. And if you get hurt or wounded or trauma, it's like, okay, I've got the tools, because that's that's life. Life. There's suffering. There's always going to be suffering. It's like, how do you manage and deal with that? And I
yeah.
I have some beautiful tools that I can share with people. And I say psychedelics might not be for everybody, but everyone should have access to them.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, where the hell do we find you? You're in LA running
Uh,
around.
yeah, I'm a moving target, but yeah,
You
I
are a
I
moving
have
target. We talked. Yeah. Yeah.
trying to stay put.
I love it. We'll save that for an offline conversation. That
Yeah.
was so much fun though, hearing your journey. Yeah.
So yeah, that
Yeah,
was a
this
good one.
man's this man's all over. Yeah. Following the whatever you're
So I'm
being
going
led.
with the flow of
Yeah.
where the universe wants to take me
Yeah.
right now, and meeting beautiful, interesting people like yourself along the way. But yeah, my product line is DIOS, DIOS, and the URL is DOS.com, DIOS.com, and then I have a website if you wanted to reach out to me. It's my first name, EmilDefrancesco. That's my last name.com. So EmilDefrancesco.com. And if they want to reach out through
Great.
you, I'm more than happy. Again, I'm here for people who are interested in what I'm doing and are curious. Just like I'm the person that I needed to talk to 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the
And
person I was like, I'm for the people who were I was 5 years ago. Well,
I can
five
just
years ago I was
imagine
still
what
like processing everything, but like maybe 4 years ago.
there you go. Well,
Yeah.
imagine what it's going to be like in 5 years for
Oh
old
gosh.
man Emil to talk
Yeah.
to this version. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Continuing to grow, baby. That's what it's all
Yes.
about.
Hmm.
Um, cool. Well, we're gonna land the plane. What is a any general message or something from the heart you'd like to leave the TRU-U audience or the TRU-U listeners with?
Mm. Yeah. Stay true to yourself and do everything that you can from a place of love and integrity. Always. Just if you're gonna do something and it's a challenge, just be like, is this coming from a place of love? be it a conversation, an interaction with a human, a major decision in your life. Love is at the core of everything.
Amen. God, you just made me think of something else. Reading a great book right now. Don Miguel Ruiz, Mastery of Love, talks
Mm,
about everything is either built out of fear or love.
yeah, you get to choose.
So notice,
Choose
yeah,
love.
that's a great
Choose
one.
love, y'all. Come on, the world needs it.
Choose
We need it.
love. Choose love. All right. Well, Emil, thank you so much for jumping on.
My
Really looking
pleasure.
forward to meeting you in person too. I hope the listeners got value out of this and that they're, don't be shy. Reach out to me, myself, or Emil. We're happy to support you with whatever your needs are. And thank you, Emil, for jumping on today, my brother.
Thank you, brother.